Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a new update from League of Legends. Looks like we have a dev update. I haven't watched it yet. I kind of wanted to have a reaction live just in case there's anything outrageous. I mean, the last one, they literally announced that they're getting rid of mythic items, so I don't know how they follow up here. Kind of hoping for Skarner news. I see Remus has a video. I'm not going to spoil it for myself, though, so let's go ahead and start it up, see what happens.
Hey folks, I'm Andre, also known as Meddler.
And I'm Jeremy, aka Riot Brightman. Today we'll be joined by two guests, Lexi Riot Lexical Gao, our Champions team lead, who's going to talk more about Champions.
And Laura Poison Pixie DeYoung, the head of IP strategy, who's going to talk a bit about our approach to the lore of Runeterra as a whole.
Then we'll be back to talk about language select, quick play, and a few other things. All right, let's hand things over to...
Okay, before they get started, I'm not going to pause a bunch, but language select is one that I really hope that they get sorted out, because 2 dev updates, they announced that language select would be an option. If you don't know, if you don't play League, to switch to a different language, typically you have to go to that specific region where that language is applied. There is a couple bypasses that have been implemented to where you can try to change your language in game, but if you just wanted to swap character voices and whatnot, it was very janky to get done consistent. And even after an update where they announce it should be done through the client and you can just go into the game with a different language, because any other Riot game, if you go into the client or the client itself, if you go to the client setting, you can just change the language and it applies in game. League, for whatever reason, you do so in the client, there's usually a repair option and it'll just say your native language. They implemented a change about 4 patches ago where you could just change it and it works like all the other games, but whatever patch Briar released on broke it. So they had it fixed at a point and then they broke it subsequently. So hopefully, if that's what they're talking about, that'll finally be rolled out properly so you can just switch your in-game language.
Riot Lexical for an update on Champions.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexi Riot Lexical Gao, the Champions team lead. Since we last talked, both Neferi and Briar have joined the Rift with vicious bites and a hangry attitude. Next up, we'll be releasing our new artistic mid laner, Hui. Hui's mastery of his craft gives him the tools needed to bring his artistic visions to life. He owes much of his skills to his previous masters, but after time and exploration, he has transcended their skill and created his own unique style. While Hui comes prepared with what he wants to paint, his extensive palette of possibilities leaves room to learn, experiment, and master. After Hui paints a masterpiece on the Rift, we'll be turning to a new creature champion. Though this one's a bit cuter than Neferi. Our new creature, though cute and small, is smoldering with power, and he'll be sauntering onto the Rift with all the pomp and circumstance that befit a royal of his status. Further out, we have a Vastayan solo laner from a forest village with the ability to see what others easily overlook. Okay, that's it for new champions. Now on to everyone's favorite Scorpion.
Skarner. Oh, is that like his confirmed new look? I like that they're going for 3 tails instead of the one huge one. I thought he would be upright now, though. But they're keeping him a scorpion, so that's cool.
And how his tail can pick up and throw a massive boulder.
Whoa. He's got like a Gnar rock throw.
January with more to share about 2024.
January? So don't expect any news the next 2 months.
Nowadays though, that's no longer the case. So we want to talk a bit about how we're updating our approach to the lore, and then talk through some upcoming examples of how that will be reflected in League and in other places. To start with, we're going to pass things over to Laura DeYoung.
Hi all. Nowadays I'm working as the head of IP Creative, which is a group planning how we evolve the League universes across all of our experiences. As Andre talked about earlier this year, over the years we've introduced inconsistencies that have woven their way into the storytelling and the world building of Runeterra.
Yeah. Yup.
Going forward,
Yes.
and it just undercuts meaningful character development. And frankly, it makes it hard for all of you to feel like you can really invest deeply in a story, knowing it might not be honored in future storytelling. So going forward, from today, all new storytelling is going to be part of one shared canon, rather than a jumble of different experiences that are similar but inconsistent.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And our goal is to ensure that major events in our stories, as well as the essence of what makes a champion who they are, will be reflected across everything that Riot makes. Getting to that consistent state is not going to be a sudden flip of the switch.
Nah,
but
it's a lot.
gradual process This doesn't mean we're going to go back to retcon every champion or story we've told. But every time we touch a part of the League universe, we're going to take a beat to ask ourselves where the inconsistent threads are and work towards weaving them together so the world makes sense. This is going to take time.
Yeah. Nah, that was huge news. No, you can go ahead and pop off, lady. That was good. That was good. So another thing, if you don't know, League has immense amounts of lore, but every time there's an update, I feel bad for the lore YouTubers because they gotta go in and say, I don't know where this fits in here, left and right. And then they kind of gotta connect the dots and say, oh, this is its own separate thing that's happening. But that's very good. That means future projects, everything when it's updated, it'll try to fit in somewhere within the core universe, which is great. I would like if they went and updated older champions lore specifically. Like if she would have said that in stone, like, hey, we're gonna update Shaco and make him make sense, make him matter, or we're gonna update certain things, you know. That would be great, but it's fine. It's fine. That's as good news as you're gonna get when it comes to lore. Huge.
Those have often felt like they should be canon, and some of them are fully consistent with the wider world, but some of them aren't. Going forwards, including the upcoming cinematic in just a few months, we're going to be making sure that they're an integrated part of our world and storytelling.
Skarner's update early next year is another good example. Skarner's old lore, and that of a few other associated champions, doesn't mesh with the creation of Hextech revealed in Arcane, which is the origin for Hextech and the unified canon going forwards.
Oh, they're changing Hextech. It's official, going based off Arcane's lore, which actually poses the question, are they considering Arcane's lore canon? Because for a while, Arcane's a separate universe. So I'm very curious what this means.
But champions like Skarner, Seraphine, and Camille are well integrated and well connected to the rest of Runeterra, so they can be part of that larger, wider shared storytelling.
The upcoming Forge game, Song of Nunu, is worth highlighting as well. It's canon, offering some insight into part of the Freljord, particularly Nunu, Willemp, and Braum.
Now, some of you might also be wondering about some of the ways we used to tell stories previously. Short stories in particular are something we've deliberately moved away from. Short stories were an effective way to dig into character backgrounds more deeply when we didn't have other ways of doing so, but they've also always been a very niche experience that most players just never engaged with. So we're focusing instead on storytelling through other mediums, ones that also let us flesh out characters and the world, but do so while resonating with more of the wider player base.
Switching gears a bit, earlier this year we announced we'd be adding...
Before they move on to the next topic, I said I wouldn't pause as much, but I'm lying. The short stories was always a thing that I feel like a couple people would read them, and then I'd have to spend like minutes just interrupting my friend's gameplay to update them on what this story is, where this champion is, or where they're supposed to be. Because I love reading the short stories. I thought they were great. I'm gonna miss them, but I'm gonna be honest. Katarina had a comic, and I am sure literally none of you knew that. It was great. It was great. Katarina had a comic. Ash had a comic. Zed had a comic, and they were all good. So if they're talking about doing alternative forms of just like updating the lore and familiarizing yourself with a champion, they're there. They've been there. It's just a lot of the core League fan base don't know. Because a lot of you League players, let's be honest, all you care about is pro scene or what your streamers are doing. The game itself has a live universe and it's great. It's just finding the stuff too. Riot's not great at pushing their stuff either. Because I had no idea about the Katarina comic until I just happened to find it on Reddit. And that's kind of how you have to find a lot of stuff. Like if you miss it in client, the 2 days they advertise it, you never see it. But if it's a pass or something, oh yeah, that's gonna be in your face as soon as you log in. But that's great to hear that they're still trying to give us different forms of getting the lore, getting information about the lore. I think that's very important. Will short stories be missed? Yeah, by like the people who read them, which is probably less than 6% of the player base. So sad, but not that sad, because people are more likely to watch a cinematic or hopefully read a comic.
It's taken us a little bit longer than we initially estimated.
That's for sure.
I'm happy to share that the current plan is for this feature to go live in November. Our main
November
focus was to help League players play in their preferred language that wasn't included in their regional download. That means you'll be able to choose from one of the 21 languages we support in the Riot client, and that will change both your in-game and around-game text. After you select your language, you'll download the language pack for each language you choose. These are around 2 gigabytes of space with all the voice files, so just be mindful of your hard drive.
Yeah, that's fine. Before they start patting themselves on the back, if you were with me this year and you were playing League this year for Essence Emporium, waiting, they pushed this sucker back 6 times. 6 times. They said, June, like usual, right? No. July, no. August. It finally came in August, and guess what? It's literally only new skins for, on there. My boy Garen had no chromas available on Essence Emporium. What's going on, right? What's going on? If you don't like me, just say that. More limit. You make the options. Oh yeah? Okay.
And other content will also be returning, specifically mystery icons, mystery wards, mystery gifting, and 50% off rune pages.
Now, it's been also a while since we've talked about Quick Play, and we've got a dev blog going live alongside this video with a lot of details, but the short version is we're replacing Blind Pick with Quick Play. It's a queue designed to get players into game faster and as much as possible on their desired champion and role. How it works is you select champions and roles in the lobby, and you skip champ select entirely to get straight to
Whoa,
game.
I'm excited for this.
Don't forget to check out the dev blogs, including the champion roadmap.
And thank you all so much for listening. Best of luck in your World's Pick'ems.
And we'll see you all on the Rift. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
All right. In conclusion, thanks for showing up, Netcrit. In conclusion, I think this was one of their better dev blogs. They actually had something to update it, add information for us. I didn't sense a lot of like, oh, let's just say something's happening to quell anger. There was none of that. It was very important information. So if we just had to summarize what's happening, Skarner, they did not forget. They did not forget that they're working on him. He's coming next year. That's a little bit later than a lot of people were expecting, considering how long that this has been in, in the kitchen. Essence Emporium is coming back in December. Big one. That's great. Love that. Lore is going to get homogenized. Beautiful. Great. Love that. Language select in late October. No, in November. Language select in November. And we're also getting quick play. That's going to be on PBE end of October. That's exciting. I know a lot of new players. Blind pick can be very intimidating, and it sucks that you have people who literally don't honor what they're supposed to play. So if you don't play blind pick, you don't understand how the process works. When you get into blind pick, you pretty much say in chat where you're going to be going. If you call mid first, you get mid. That's pretty much it's first come first serve. Now there's a lot of jerks who literally like will double up mid or double up top, or there'll be no jungle in the game because people don't want to like forced to go into those roles, and without draft pick forcing you into a role, it's kind of just like a shit show. Just to be frank, it's a shit show all the time. So good updates are coming. This was one of the better ones. I actually like this one. And yeah, aside from that, we're going to be talking about our pick'ems and how we're doing so far. We're going to cover some more Worlds content, and then I'll actually cover the champion roadmap to see how I feel. Aside from that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. If you want any more videos like this, I'll try to update my content to try to hit this note, try to make more content like this that actually covers the game that I spend all my life on. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions in the comments, and like and subscribe if you want to see more.